Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited for another episode of Coffee and Compressed Air. And today I am here with Elizabeth Fleming from Global Vac and Air. And I will let you do a quick intro because by now I think most people know who I am, or at least can find out quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, quick introduction.
Thank you for having me, Dani.
Of course.
I'm Elizabeth, and I'm with Global Vac and Air. Global Vac and Air is headquartered out in Brockton, Massachusetts. We are a supplier of air and vacuum systems used in hospitals, labs, universities. And I want to talk about new business today.
Yes.
New business development.
Yes. Today is one of my favorite episodes because anytime I get to talk about sales with another salesperson, I love it. It's what I do all day, every day. But there's something a little different about the work you're doing because you're in a completely new territory.
Yes.
Which is very different from a salesperson who comes in and there's a book of business
Yes.
already, or the region or the area is already aware of the brand and the people. So when you say, hey, I work at company this,
right,
they're like, oh, they already kind of know. And then now they're like, who? So
exactly.
So when you started there, what is the first real problem that you have to solve when you have zero customers? Like the very first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's not even getting the customers yet.
It's credibility.
Okay.
It's credibility because really, what is credibility? It's why should I trust you?
Mm-hmm.
And coming into a region where there's no references available, there's no local installs, and the distributor has no, sense of urgency to sign you up.
Okay.
You have to build that trust with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, credibility is a big one, especially when there's no other examples like, hey, your neighbor did this.
Right.
Because a lot of people go by word of mouth and trust. Like, so it's so important. So since that's the main issue, how, as a salesperson, we need wins.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
We're just going to be honest.
I know.
We need some wins. And it's not even about ego. It's just, that's what our KPIs are.
Yeah.
I mean, our whole, I don't want to say worth to the company is that, but we're literally hired to bring in sales.
Revenue
and customers.
Right.
So when you're in this new region, what counts as like an early win, do you think? Because you're not going to come in, even if you're a rock star.
Yeah.
It still takes a minute.
Yes.
To gain that trust.
And I had always been in roles that were more, I don't want to use the word proactive rather than reactive, but I had to reverse my thinking. So what you have to become is a resource, a trusted resource. So, with that, I have to introduce lunch and learns and vacuum 101 training and more get into the customer's mindset and try to solve what their problems are and focus on what their problems are and be a problem solver for them and be that trusted resource. Now, Global Vac and Air has a bunch of established accounts in the New England area, so I could also speak to the successes out there, which is also, helpful.
Yeah. So, yes, that helps a lot. I want to transition a little bit into how do you show, because we're like, okay, you bring value, you want to be the resource, right? But how do you do that when nobody knows who you are? You know what I mean? You kind of have to interject yourself almost.
You do.
And show up, but in a way that's not off-putting.
Right.
So what do you think there? Like, why should they listen to you? Like, how do you get that conversation even started?
Because it's almost like you're more of a brand ambassador at this point than a salesperson, right?
Okay.
So going back to being a trusted resource and using those examples in New England of the successes we've had out there and getting to the bottom of what their problems are, if it's lead time, if it's current suppliers that aren't responsive, if it's pricing, and acting on that and becoming a problem solver for that. So that's sort of how you start to build the trust. Of course, the first win is always important. And then when you do get to that point, and when someone does listen to you and quotes you, and you get that first win at that point, you can overservice them. Overservice meaning do everything you can to be the very best to that very first client, so that sort of use it as a reference point.
Yeah, so they want to tell
Others.
Their friends and tell their peers that, hey, I worked with her.
Yeah.
And it was good. Yeah, so it's like an under promise, over deliver kind of thing.
Yes.
At least to start. I don't think you always need to be there. Although as salespeople, I feel like we tend to want to do that anyway.
We do.
You want to take care of the people who did decide to trust you, right? And that was a big thing for me too. Even with Direktin and being in a whole new role that had nothing also. So I can probably talk about this forever because I'm also living it with you.
Yes.
And it's so the people that do kind of take that leap and trust you, you want to make sure that you can show up for them and deliver. Yes.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah. Answer accordingly.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of those things.
At least within our control, right? Because as salespeople, we can only do so much.
Correct.
As far as that.
That's right.
And I think that's where that never ending loop of like operations, you need to do this. I was a salesperson. I told them this. And operations like, well, this is happening here. And
I know.
Like it's the never ending chicken and egg story.
100%. Yes.
Like who's doing what.
Yes.
So you just kind of have to find a way to live and navigate that. I feel like it's interesting dynamic. So with that said, what do you think is the most underestimated part of the role?
100%. The patience that it takes to build this business. Patience. It's like patience is like emotional labor. It's so important to be patient, but at the same time, you have the pressure to bring the sales. So you're constantly balancing those two things. I think that it's helped me to know that, with time, it'll come. And if I do all these things right, it will come. But you definitely need to be able to work well under pressure, but understand that it's not about instant wins. It's about long-term mobility. It's like you're planting seeds and it's taking time.
Yeah. I know. I have to take a breath.
Build.
I have to take
a slow build. Okay. It's not going to happen overnight. I have to remind myself of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I'm one that like, I don't want to play like a pity card or anything like,
Right.
oh, it's so hard to do it. Like it's doable. The wins are amazing, but it does take a lot of patience, especially if you came from a role where you had
100%
a book of business. And for me, that was the biggest thing was I had a book of business. I had so many wins.
Yep.
Like I had customers I could call quickly and, get orders or like something. And then now it's like when that's taken away, now, like, what are you? And then it really makes you think about like I don't want to say ethics because you still want to be ethical and have a really good foundation.
Yeah.
From when you're starting from nothing and building, like you don't want to be that salesperson just to get a quick win, right?
Well, that's right. And yeah, the loud, aggressive type of person is not going to succeed in this role. It's more about being a listener, and I've been reading a lot of content about that. It's more about being a listener and listening to the customer's problems. And again, how can I solve them? How can I position myself in this market to stand out?
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do as salespeople. I'm representing this brand.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very fine line because again, since in our role, we're so tied to numbers.
Yes.
And in the beginning, it's like, there's no numbers.
Yeah.
So now
there's nothing. There's
So yeah, so it can be tempting, but I think a lot of people are getting a little more, not like calling it out, like saying, hey, you're being pushy, you're being rude, you're not being honest. So I think the market is ready for more people who, okay, I have a genuine solution.
Yes.
I know a lot of people, especially in compressed air, are very skeptical. Compressor is so important to the production.
Yes.
So when you say, hey, I want to come in and do something, and if another salesperson already come in and said, you're going to save this, or you're going to be able to produce 100 times faster,
right?
You know, and then they do it and then it doesn't happen, you know, so then we that are coming in, you know, genuinely trying to help, it's a lot of skepticism there. And so not only we're fighting over, they don't know who we are, but then also getting them back to like being ready to listen to somebody,
right?
And then taking another chance on, you know, another company or another person. So it's interesting. Do you have maybe a case, like a win or something that like where you were like, okay, finally?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I stepped into this role about 1.5 years ago. And I like to joke that, you know, my manager handed me a computer and said, go find business in the Midwest. And so it's actually been like the hardest, but the most rewarding job I've ever had, because I should back up and say, there are no guarantees. There are no guarantees. You could do everything right from the beginning. The introductory meeting, you know, staying relevant between phone calls and meetings, checking in, quoting, requoting, pushing out the date, you know, working with that customer's timeline. You know, I have an example of that. I worked on a project for about 6 months and I was sure that I had it. And in the end, the hospital, pretty much the finances weren't there. They weren't in place and it just got voted no. So, you know, after all that, you know, the meetings and the time and the effort and the quoting and the pricing and the price changes and everything, communication and the follow-up. But you know what you have to do with that is take, what win did I get from that? What was my win? Even though I didn't win the deal, I built a relationship with a general contractor.
Okay.
That's what I take from that. That because you have to take a positive from the loss. And it's the only way to do it, or you'll just be
Yeah, I feel it. I don't know how many salespeople are watching, or if you feel it.
Right.
Because it's your daily work in that time and the hope that it kind of gives you.
That's right.
And you're like, okay, I did everything right. You know, everything looked great on paper, and then something falls through. So that could be devastating, especially if you're kind of having that in your pipeline.
100%.
And you're kind of expecting it. It's definitely interesting to navigate through. So with that, I mean, that's devastating, but how do you carry that pressure?
So during those times, I found for me, like what works best for me is staying as organized as possible. So digging into my pipeline and knowing exactly like what deals I have coming, what's happening with each of those, what the timing is of each of those, and just getting a really good understanding of what's in my pipeline. In addition to that, it would be doing outreach, you know, going through all my business cards and all the touch points that I met at all the trade shows that I've been to, and following up without being annoying. That's a big one. Staying relevant, staying in the radar, keeping myself organized, and inevitably during these times, a win will come. As soon as you take a step back and chill. So
interesting how it seems to work like that.
Yes.
You mentioned trade shows, and this one isn't even planned. So, but how do you feel about trade shows, the interactions there?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. It's great. I sincerely believe that when someone comes to your booth and meets you face to face and shakes your hand, it's a completely different form of communication than even a phone call.
Yeah.
I've had phone calls. I've had, you know, email exchanges and phone calls with people. But then when they came to the booth and they met me, they're like, okay, now I want to work with you.
Okay.
I mean, I see who you are. I see your product. I get to know you. I shake your hand, and it's just a completely different level. It's interesting because, you know, all these years of being, you know, COVID and Teams meetings and being remote and not getting out there. It's just, I feel like I feel it's refreshing to be back out there again, shake hands.
Yeah.
And meet people.
Yeah, that is nice. It is very different. And I love this. Normally I'm on like a screen and I can't believe I'm sharing this. I'm like, normally I just like do the front of my hair.
My hair's so pretty and long.
Thank you.
It is.
For some of the podcasts, I'm like, oh, I'm at home. Nobody's going to see me.
Oh, I know.
So I'm like,
I know.
okay. Like I get a little comfortable being like just remote and doing that. So it was nice to have a commute today. You know, a little commute. I'm driving. I'm like, oh, I'm listening to music. I'm like, I haven't had to commute in a like a while. So.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not trying to sidebar the conversation, but on the days that I do have meetings on camera, and I know you know, and days I get up and get ready and do my hair and makeup, I have a better day.
Yeah,
it's 100% true.
Yeah,
maybe not for men, but for women for sure.
Yes, definitely. No, I feel like, because you just feel different. I feel like it comes across, you know, in just the way you talk.
Yes.
Let's see, what else do we have? This is an interesting one. What mistakes do you think people make, or do you see people make when they're trying to come in, you're fresh, you're trying to make a name for yourself, and you try to teach?
Yeah.
Like right off the bat.
Yeah. Teaching, spam emails, spamming with information, and overly information, overly educating them, just throwing too much out at once. I think that could be a mistake. I think, again, this is a slow build. This is a slow build. This is not, I'm going to give you all the information at once and it's going to work.
Yeah.
This is, I'm going to talk about who is, you know, Global Vac and Air, what I can do for you, how I can help you with your problems, and we can go from there. It's not about selling the product and inundating them with all that information. It's about, it's more so a slow build. It's like I said, it's or a slow burn. I don't know what you want to call it. The momentum is going to build quietly.
Yeah.
I think, you know, people would go to market and go crazy with all that information. And then of course the patience piece, lose patience. They want fast results and it's not happening.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that you mentioned just over teaching and throwing so much information at people. I try to remind myself and other people that there's humans on the other side. Like, I'm not saying like it's another me on the other side, but like another person that like I could be friends with, or like that has a family, that has a dog at home, that has, you know, things that they're doing. And then just to kind of treat it as just a KPI is really hard for me. And I'm like, I always try to put myself in those situations. Not in the sense that like, oh, would I pick up this call, or would I, because I normally don't pick up calls, and like the spam emails, like I scroll through them.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But
we all do.
There are some that I'm like they didn't know I was having, my heater just went out at home. And then I happen to see a commercial that there's heaters in the area, or, you know, a service worker. And then I'm like, okay, I now have this problem. Now I need that. Right. So it's important to find that fine line of staying there for when they do have this up and coming issue.
That's right.
And,
that's right.
And then, but not inundating them so much that they block you.
Well, that's when, absolutely. Because you don't want to be, it's like you want to follow up, but not be annoying. And that's so hard because no one wants to read an email. Just following up, just checking in. Like those are the words you just don't want to hear. Delete.
Yeah. I know. And I do it. Although the ones that I get that I read, I'm like, okay, I need to take notes on this one because they got me to.
Yes.
And
there has to be a hook. There has to be a hook.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, with timing, especially in industry, manufacturing.
Yeah.
So, but you also don't want to get blocked and sent to like the spam folder. So it's
right.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. And I like that you said not to over teach, like at least not in the emails and over phone and in people's faces. I really like this way because people can come, right? They can come if they have some kind of issue. It's all stored on YouTube. So like they can kind of search for when they're like, ooh, I have this problem. And then it's there. So you want to have information out there so people can find it easily.
Yes.
While also still reaching out and reminding them that, hey, this resource is here. I am here. I am this
and
resource.
I can help you with this.
Yes.
Yes.
Without getting blocked.
Right. Right.
So
that's exactly right.
Yeah. So I don't know how many people were helping. Maybe this is more of like a therapy session than because there is. I mean, yes, there's tips and tricks, but also you have to find out what works for you.
You do.
Right?
You do.
I feel like we have a similar personality already in how we kind of go to market, but there's other people, like I'm not going to come in and talk about sports.
No, but you know what? Little known fact, I was never like a huge sports person, but I feel like there are certain topics that are safe, and sports is one of them. And I don't know, I'm kind of getting into it.
You are? Well, I'm saying if you get into it, because I don't want to start a conversation and then not be able to like have the next, like, keep the conversation going.
I agree.
And we're like, how about those Bears? I think they just played. And then go into the game and like all the details. I'm like, I didn't actually watch it. I just saw that they won or lost.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
like,
you have to be genuine.
I'm kind of a fan.
So you learn what kind of topics. I feel like safe topics are always pets, kids.
Yeah.
Weather. If they're a dog person, they're a dog person. Yeah.
Weather's a big one. How is it in Chicago?
Yeah.
And
freezing.
Sport. Yes.
Freezing today. Yeah, I like that. So as we're going about this, since maybe the sales aren't rolling in like we want to, what are some other signals that you think are important to watch in tandem with, of course, we want the sales to come. That's always main priority. Yes. But as you're building from zero, there has to be some kind of other, I don't know if you want to call them KPIs, but like some other signals, something.
Yes.
What do you think those are?
So going back to like the little wins, like getting spec'd in is huge. Okay. That would be a goal, because you've won the trust of that engineering firm to spec you in.
Okay.
You could quietly, become a packager or an OEM for someone. You repetitive RFQs, when you're getting multiple RFQs, that's a sign that you're doing something right from your distributors.
Yeah.
But getting spec'd in, that's the big one.
Yeah, just being part of a conversation.
Going in the right conversation. Yes, or even being able to quote as an equal. If you're not in the specs, but you could go in as an equal. That's just that you're able to meet those specs. You're not listed, but you're able to meet the specs. You're doing something right.
Yeah.
That because there's an opportunity there.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, that's another important thing. The opportunity has to be there.
Yeah,
like there has to be a demand for what you're supplying.
Right.
So let's see, how are we on time? So we're a little over, but I want to go through a couple more things.
Sure.
This is my favorite one. What is something you had to learn the hard way?
Oh my gosh.
Starting from zero.
Oh, starting from scratch. I think I kind of touched on it before, but just that there are no guarantees. This job is about positioning yourself and about being patient, and that there are no guarantees that you could do everything right and in the end not win it. But spinning that in a way that I did win that, because like I said, I built a relationship with that general contractor. I got on that bidders list. Anything you can take from it. But there are no guarantees with this, and it does take a special person. Someone that's very patient and able to work under pressure, and that has a thick skin and can take a no. And you know what? And the no's can get better too as time wears on, because it might not be a hard no. It might be a hard no in the beginning, but then it might become maybe not right now.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with a tariff issue. Call me in
Mhm.
2 months. Perfect.
Yeah.
I put it on my calendar. I'll follow up.
Mhm.
There's that word
Yes.
again.
Yes. Following up
Yes.
is super important, just staying relevant.
Yes.
So the last thing before we wrap up, um, someone stepping into this role or think they want to be, I will say
Mhm.
it is super rewarding
Yes.
to step into a role where there's nothing, because the wins, I mean, before it's like, oh, I got this customer and this customer, and then you get all these wins, and then
Yeah.
it doesn't get old. I would say
No.
it doesn't get old,
No.
but you become accustomed to that.
Yes.
So I feel like it's such an even bigger win, even if it's a smaller customer. It's like, I got that from nothing. Like, this is so
It's
cool.
huge. I mean, when you see the fruits of your efforts and when the
Mhm.
orders start coming in, it is a very rewarding feeling. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
the hardest job I've ever loved.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, I mean, I would just remind someone that in a role like this, you're positioning your product. You're not going to see you're not going to see something instantaneously. It's not going to be instant gratification. And that you have to be patient, that this is a slow build.
Mhm. All right.
Yeah.
So you heard that, managers. We're working on it. We're working on it. They're coming. But thank you so much for coming
Thank you for
and
having
meeting me
me.
here.
Yes.
This was so fun.
Yes.
It's nice to have like just a real genuine conversation with someone who's in the same position
Absolutely.
and dealing with the same thing. Yeah, sales is tough either way. I mean, I'm not saying getting a book of business handed to you isn't tough,
Right.
but you have that, orders coming in, so you're not, so I don't want to say desperate.
Account management
Yeah.
versus new business
Yes.
is completely
It's
different.
insane.
Yes.
Insanely different.
Yes.
Very different skills. And then it depends the product. Like if you were in that product line already, okay, maybe. But then being a new salesperson in your region with a new product also.
Yep.
Because that was
Learning the technology.
me. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Yep.
gosh, the words. Like I went from tools and like one very specific part of compressed air to now, software one is completely different than a physical tool. And then engineering services, some now services and software versus just plugging in a tool.
Right.
But then you have to learn, even if you're learning tools, I'm not saying it's easier or harder, but when you're learning tools, you have to learn the specs, the frequently asked questions, how they work together with other people's systems. So I mean, having to learn that technical side on top of building this and navigating the sales part.
Yeah, that could be a whole separate podcast.
Yeah,
literally. I think that's the hardest part for me right now.
Yeah,
it's becoming very fluent and very technical, and learning the ins and outs of every piece of equipment that I sell, but also to go find the new business.
Yeah,
go do more outreach, because that's the goal.
Yeah, that's a very, very fine line, and probably another
podcast,
episode
another time
about technical sales. And like for me, I don't have a technical background, so it's
nor do I
a whole nother language. But I think that's why it's important to be aligned with a really good team.
Absolutely.
And have support on the back end.
Absolutely.
Because I'm like, I could talk about this all day long, especially knowing because I have that engineering support.
Yeah.
Because it's not if you're going to need it, it's just when. Because like our job is to get people interested enough to say, yes, show me more, or tell me more.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can just do that all the time and be busy forever.
Yeah.
And then just pass on.
Yeah.
But also as a salesperson, it's hard to pass things on. So
yes.
We'll go ahead and end there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danny.
If you have any questions for us or comments, you can go ahead and feel free to put it in the comment section, and we'll go ahead and scope that out for the next 30 minutes. Also, feel free to DM either one of us if you have any questions.
Yep.
Our LinkedIns are here, and we'll go ahead and share your website and kind of a little bit more about what you do for if anybody has any questions.
Absolutely.
How about to wrap up, you just a quick, what exactly are you selling? If they're like, you're amazing, I want to work with you, what are you doing?
So yeah, I mean, we're right now at Global Vac and Air. I'm actually selling, I can sell nationally. I can sell anywhere in the United States.
Amazing. I was like amazing, but also,
yeah,
oh my
a little
God.
overwhelming. But yeah, skidded air and vacuum packages that are used in hospitals, labs, universities, and we have industrial as well. So for sure, we should link the website and all my information. We also have MES, which is Mobile Engineered Solutions, and that is headed up by Jason Cravey. And he is in Texas.
Awesome.
So, yes.
Good. Well, there you go. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And we'll
Bye
see you
for
next
now.
week.